So the PlayStation 5 event has finally come and gone, and I've had a few days to think about the conference itself and some of the games that were shown, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about that in this video. But before I begin, if you do enjoy this video, leave it a like and subscribe for more. I put out new videos every Saturday at 6 PM. I'm trying to do ones for Wednesday as well. We're going to see how that gets along, because I do also live stream every Wednesday, Thursdays and Fridays over on Twitch, 7 PM British Standard Time. The link is in the description if you want to come along and say hi. Straight off the bat, I'm going to say this conference did not start well. The first game they showed was GTA 5. Again. Now, as most of you know, GTA 5 was a PlayStation 3 release, which then went over to the PlayStation 4, and now it's coming over to the PlayStation 5. Now, one of the strange things about this is that the footage they showed was PlayStation 4 graphics. It was shot on the PlayStation 4, not the PlayStation 5. Now, at first I thought they were going to do one of those comparisons like they do, like this is what it used to look like, this is what it looks like on the PlayStation 5, but they didn't. They just sort of kept going with the PlayStation 4 footage, and that was it. At the end of the trailer, they just simply said, this game is coming to PlayStation 5, it's going to look enhanced and pretty, and GTA Online is coming, and it's going to be a free-to-play. It's from what I gathered from that statement. I mean, let's be entirely honest with each other here, guys. The reason that GTA 5 is coming for the PlayStation 5 is simply because GTA Online is such a massive cash cow grab for them. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's not a fantastic way to start the conference, but luckily it does get better from there. They showed off loads of games, starting off with my personal favourite, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, last week I talked about what I'd like to see in Spider-Man 2. This isn't a Spider-Man sequel, it is simply a standalone expansion pack, if you will. There's been a lot of confusion on what this game actually was. DLC, expansion pack, is it coming for the PlayStation 4, just for the PlayStation 5? Not a lot of information is out there yet, but the things we do know is that it's a standalone game, and I'm going to take a random guess here and just say this is going to be for the PlayStation 5 only. That's not confirmed, but that's what I'm going to go with. It's going to be for the PlayStation 5 only, and it's going to be like Uncharted Lost Legacy. I can't see how this game is going to be any different from Spider-Man 1, just like how I can't see Spider-Man 2 being any different from Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man Miles Morales, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Spider-Man's 1 gameplay was fantastic. Now, there's a few things they could do here and there to improve gameplay, such as new moves, new gadgets, maybe an improvement on the stealth sections. But overall, this game just looks stunning. It looks beautiful. And I'm really interested to see the direction they're going for the story. So Miles is the protagonist in this game. Peter's voice was in the trailer, but I'm not sure where Peter is. I wonder if him and MJ have to go off somewhere, or Miles is just on his own. Will Peter be in this game at all? Will we get to play like sections as Peter, as we did like we played Miles and MJ in Spider-Man 1? Either way, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's set in Christmas. I saw a Christmas tree in the background, so New York is covered in snow, which will give the city a fresh new look, which I'm really looking forward to. The game just looks fantastic, and it's definitely a reason I will be buying a PlayStation 5 at launch. You say Spider-Man, I say how high. Now, I'm sure what I'm about to say is going to annoy a few people, but just bear with me. My problem with Resident Evil Village is it doesn't really look like Resident Evil to me. They got vampires, werewolves. I mean, I suppose this was a game that started off on zombies and viruses, so maybe it's not too far-fetched. I don't know, it's just the first-person perspective. At least Chris is in it, so at least they have a link to the Resident Evil series this time. I know Chris was in the last game, but the last 5 seconds and the DLC doesn't really count in my opinion. Plus, he didn't really look like Chris at all. At least they made Chris look like Chris in the Resident Evil 8 trailer. That being said, just because I said it doesn't look like Resident Evil doesn't mean I'm not excited for this game. It looks stunning. I am more interested in playing this Resident Evil than I was playing Resident Evil 7. It looks like they have some sort of big castle that you can explore, which certainly reminds me of Resident Evil 1. And even the police station in the Resident Evil 2 remake, it was giving me those type of vibes as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I gotta go back and play Resident Evil 7 because Resident Evil 8 seems to have Ethan as the main character again. So I don't want to be jumping into Resident Evil 8 without playing Resident Evil 7, especially if it seems to be a continuation of Ethan's story. Although judging by the trailer, it says his story's coming to an end. I'm assuming they're talking about Ethan. It's the same reason I won't play like a third game without playing the previous 2. I always remember Mass Effect and BioWare started saying, it's a great place to jump in for the Mass Effect series. I'm like, no, you need to go back and play the first 2 before you can properly enjoy the third one. I'm that type of gamer, so I'll definitely have to go back and play Resident Evil 7. As I said, I never thought Resident Evil 7 was a bad looking game. I just didn't think it looked like a Resident Evil game. But once again, I'm not saying Resident Evil Village looks like a bad game. It doesn't. It looks like a fantastic game. And as I said, I am more excited to play this Resident Evil than I was when they announced Resident Evil 7. Another game they showed was Oddworld's Soulstorm. Now, I played Oddworld's Abe Odyssey, Oddworld's Abe's Exodus, and the new one, Oddworld's New and Tasty, which was a remake of Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. It doesn't really look like Abe's Exodus, and that's because it's not Abe's Exodus. It looks like they've used like the very base storyline that Abe's Exodus had, and they've just gone in a completely new direction. The game looks interesting, and I use that word because there's a lot of stuff going on at the screen at once, and I'm a little afraid that it's just going to like be hard to tell what I'm meant to be doing. The game looks stunning. The game looks graphically stunning, and I'm looking forward to seeing the direction they've gone with this game. It looks a lot more action-based than its previous predecessors. And it's got crafting in, there seems to be a lot more Badokans to save. I wonder if you can save all of them, because there seems to be a lot of death going on in these trailers. I also hope that you can have a good and bad ending, so if you don't save enough Badokans, you get the bad ending, save enough Badokans, you get the good ending. And I really hope they keep, if you save all the Badokans, you get a super secret ending. Gives you that good feeling. Although I just don't know how you're going to save all the Badokans. There's so much death going on in these trailers. It looks like saving all of them is going to be a difficult task to accomplish. But I'm up for it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing this one. Oddworld was one of those few games that really defined me as a gamer. It was one of the first memorable games I played. I played on the Atari, but when I played on the PlayStation, I think Abe was the one that made me a gamer. So that game's got a special place in my heart. And finally, they ended up showing the PlayStation 5 console itself. I've seen a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. When I first saw it, I didn't really like it. I wasn't sure what to make of it. In my head, I had this concept art of a PlayStation, which I thought I saw online. And it was just like the regular PlayStation, but it had a place to put your controller on the PlayStation, and I thought that looked really neat. But when I went back and looked at it afterwards, it didn't look anything like I thought it did, and it looked really ugly. So I'm not sure where that image came into my head. But the more I look at the new PlayStation, the more I like it. I mean, yes, it looks like a router, I get that. But it looks modern. I think it looks better than the Xbox. I will say out of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 definitely has a better looking console than the Xbox Series X. The Xbox just looks like a fridge. Someone made a meme out of it and now I can't get it out of my head. It's just a big fridge to me. But at the end of the day, this really doesn't matter. The console could look like a fridge, the console could look like a router. All that matters is the games they release on those systems and can the console run them well. If I had to complain about this console, it would be 3 simple things. 1, there's no price point. 2, there's no release date. And 3, I don't know which are the launch titles of this game. A lot of games seem to be coming out for 2021. Obviously, I think Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be a launch title, I'm guessing. That's coming out in the holiday 2020. I'm assuming that's when the console will be released. I wasn't expecting Sony to release a price point, nor for them to announce a release date for this console. They're clearly waiting for Microsoft to announce it first, and then they can match their price point, or make it a little lower, make it a little higher. The fact they've got 2 consoles, one without a disc drive, one with a disc drive, I think is going to be beneficial for Sony to make one of them possibly cheaper than the Xbox and one of them more expensive than the Xbox. I think that's the route they're going to go down. I'll give this conference a solid 8 out of 10. Sony just do so well in these conferences. It always makes me sad when they pull out of the E3 conference or they start doing state of play. I don't mind state of play, but it's not like one of those big conferences they do. There's only one time they've not done very well in a conference, and that's I think when they announced The Last of Us, or they did the Last of Us 2 gameplay or something like that it was, and they did like half of it on the big stage, and then they moved everyone to the Last of Us stage and did like the conference. It was a bit of a weird one. They started doing interviews and stuff. Sony excel well when they just do their normal E3 conference. Guy's on the stage, he's like, hey, this is what's coming out for the PlayStation in the next couple of years. Have a look, and then it's like an hour and a bit of just pure gameplay. Like, no rubbish, no interviews on stage like EA does, or cringy jokes like Ubisoft does. It's just pure gameplay. But that's all I got for you guys. Remember to leave a like if you like this video and subscribe for more. Let me know what you thought of the PlayStation conference down in the comments, and I shall catch you all later. Have a good night, my friends, or day.